What is up, everybody? Shad here with another video. I'm trying out a different angle, kind of like this. I'm gonna see how it works. Starting off in the garage. That little intro I did with all the Lethal shirts, did that. They're having I think they're still having their Black Friday sale. Check them out on Instagram at Team Lethal and their website, lethalperformance.com. Check out Jake and Steve, all the other crew there. Get your orders in, save some money, get some parts, have some fun. But we're rocking their swag today. This flannel, it's not on their website yet. If you want one, bombard their messages. We want flannels. It's cold season. You need them. These are so nice. And I got the Lethal hat, the Lethal shirt. One of the Lethal shirts, as you saw. I got something in the works with all the Lethal shirts. That'll be coming in the future, though. But, yeah, let's get the garage open. Let's start the car. And let's get on to the title of this video. It's a crazy one. And I can't believe I'm making it. It's almost 1 o'clock here in Tennessee, but sorry, neighbors. That cold start. Out. And yeah, copyright. Let's let this warm up. Hopefully you guys can see me okay, hear me okay. Again, I'm using the GoPro 10 with the media mount, so it's got a mic on it. Hopefully it's picking up okay. I know you heard that cold start though. That's X-Force. So, the title of this video. What's it been now? I think 2 years it's been now. It was actually right before Christmas. I was driving from Tennessee to Massachusetts to go see my family for Christmas. It was taking me a weird way. I didn't want to take it at first, but it said it was the fastest way, so I just went. Basically, I went through Tennessee, part of Virginia, and then kind of that West Virginia route up through Pennsylvania, and then New York, northern New York, near Schenectady, and then it cut in to Vermont. And I don't know if you guys have ever been to Vermont in the winter. There's a road that it took me on. It had absolutely no lights. It was pitch black. You could see every star in the sky. The only thing you could see passing by houses every now and then, they had their Christmas lights on, but other than that, it was pitch black. So you might know where I'm going with this. Let's get my seatbelt on while the car's warming up. This is gonna be a doozy. So I'm just driving. I think the speed limit on the road, I saw a sign back when there were lights, was about like 45. 45. So I was doing about 40-ish, and I'm just driving normally. It's kind of windy road, and I hit black ice. And if you guys have ever hit black ice, it's no fun. And it threw me into the guardrail and just messed up the whole side. And when I hit the guardrail, it launched me back over to the left side, and I kind of spun out to avoid hitting a wall of snow. Vermont, it snows pretty good. So I just missed that wall of snow, and it was hard snow, it wasn't soft snow. So if I'd have double tapped both sides, this probably would have been totaled. Which I was kind of surprised the side that it hit didn't total it. But anyway, car's kind of warmed up now, it calmed down, so we we can mosey on. I'm not going to be doing any high speeds, just driving around town. Anyway, back to the story. So I almost double tapped. Wait a minute, my mailbox is open. Did I get mail? Nope, no mail. Wind just blew it open. It's windy as all heck today in Tennessee, but it's kind of a nice day out. It's cloudy, but it's not cold. Anyway, back to the story. So I almost double tapped both sides of the road, and when I kind of got composed, pulled over to the right side of the road again, I was limping it because my front right coilover snapped completely in half, clean in half. And when I was able to limp to an area where I could kind of pull off the road, as soon as I pulled over, a semi-truck came barreling down the road, and he kind of was swerving. He was going faster than me, so I was like, whew, I might want to slow down there, buddy. But it's just crazy because it's like if I would have been still limping my way on that road, he might have came through and just plowed right into me, and that would have been all she wrote. But so I got over to the side of the road. I called the insurance company, and that's where it started to get a little dicey. I called them, told them what happened. No police were involved. I was okay. Externally, I was okay. Mentally, I was pissed. But I said I knew a friend of mine, Bobby, Ink Ginge on Instagram. He owns a body shop in Connecticut, which wasn't too far from where I was, but I knew, you know, when you get into an accident, you can have a vehicle towed anywhere. So I was trying to tell them I want to have my vehicle towed here, and they were telling me, well, that's out of range. We're only gonna pay for 20 miles. So if you want to go there, you have to foot the tow bill for the rest. And let's be real, they didn't want to pay going that far because it was just before Christmas and it was on a weekend. So tow bill would have been astronomical. But I was trying to tell them, you know, no, that's not how it goes. I have a friend that works in insurance that says they've had to pay cross-country towing because that's where the person wanted to bring it. And they were like, no, we know a reliable shop. It's a Ford dealership that's in the area. So, you know, that's where we want you to take it. And I tried tooth and nail. They wouldn't budge, so I was like, whatever. It's a Ford dealership. They're obviously used to working with Fords. It should be fine. Which I shouldn't have done. But I did it. Anyway, take it to that dealership. The tow truck guy comes. He said he actually almost hit the similar patch of black ice that I hit, which it blows my mind that I mean, I know lights aren't really gonna help, but I mean, it just blows my mind that there's no lights on that road. You can't see anything. But so when he saw my car, he was shocked that there wasn't more damage. So, you know, he gets my car up on the bed, and we go to the dealership, and obviously they weren't open yet. So he put my car down, and I had to sit and wait for like, I think it was like half hour, 45 minutes. And when they opened, you know, they pulled my car in, they looked at it, really quickly, and I had to get a rental car. So I was talking to the guy and asking him, what he thought, and he was like, well, for visual it kind of looks bad. When we get into it, maybe it'll be worse, but we'll figure it out. I was like, okay. So I get back home. He calls me on the Monday, and he's like, I want to return it back to the way it was. Let me know what parts, where to get them and everything. And it was both my front and rear wheels took a beating, obviously, and then the coilover, which he said he was just gonna order the complete set, and so everything was the same. And so I gave him the part number for the complete set, ordered the front and rear wheels. My exhaust got dinged up, so he asked me what exhaust it was, gave him that one, and he said he'd let me know. So I was only home for I think like a week, and obviously I live in Tennessee, so I had to drive the rental car back home, and whenever my car was fixed, drive the rental car back, and then drive my car back. So he was saying, and this was before COVID, he was saying it'd be about 3 weeks, maybe 4. We're on like week 5, and he's telling me that parts are back ordered. He's still waiting on parts, and obviously I'm familiar with where he's ordering these parts from. So I asked the companies, obviously the Performance, and then there was one part from American Muscle that Lethal didn't have at the time. And I asked them, hey, the body shop ordered these parts, it's going to such and such, Vermont. Can't remember the name of the town. I want to say it was Bennington, but I don't remember. And they confirmed with me that all the parts have been delivered. There was no backlog, anything. So I call him back. I'm like, hey, these parts have been delivered. What's going on? And he's like, oh yeah, they came today, so we're gonna get that on. That was strike 2. Finally, it's come time to pick up my car. Obviously, I had to wait a bit because I had to give my job at least 2 weeks leeway for when I'm leaving. So I head back up there. My dad, I couldn't stay in Massachusetts. It was more like a go there, go to Vermont, go back, sleep, leave the next morning type of thing. It wasn't a multi-day stay. It just so happened that on the day that we were going to pick up my car, my dad, the day before, went to dialysis. And there's some days where he feels really bad after, but he said he'd take me because the drive was too long for my mom. And the rental car place wasn't going to extend me anymore. So I couldn't keep it. I actually had to fly home. I didn't even drive. So he takes me. He was fine. But when we got there, he was starting to feel a little crappy. And I didn't want him to leave without me going. So I did kind of like a semi-quick walkthrough with the guy. And I started to feel sick. So I didn't want to be there too long. Did walk through with the guy. Things looked fine. And I noticed that the exhaust I gave him to put on was different. I had the quad tips. They were just the single tips. And said he was going to give me a box of stuff, of my stuff. And I heard rattling in the trunk, and I know I should have opened the trunk, but I didn't. The stuff didn't end up being in there. And so I drive home, everything's fine, wake up the next morning, drive back to Tennessee. The car was, as I was driving, I think I hit Virginia. As I was driving, the car was always pulling to the left. And these people were saying that, you know, they did everything. Alignment, balanced the wheels, which the balancing didn't feel any different. But obviously the alignment was way off, because I had to damn near be doing a left turn to keep the car straight. And so I stopped at a rest stop because I wanted to look at the car now that it was sunlight, and after the alignment thing, it was really making me worried. So I stopped, I'm looking over the car, and on the hood I could see this like hazy film all over it. It was all over the hood. It was like they painted the car, stuff got on it, and they cleared right over it. Because when I would touch it, it wasn't rough. It was smooth. So that had me worried. And then I could see the headlights were different. One was aftermarket, and the one that wasn't damaged was obviously the OEM, but you could tell the difference. And so obviously that pissed me off. And then on the door, it was a kind of big spot, and it was like they sprayed the door, and like he sprayed too much in one spot, and it started to run, and they let that dry and clear right over it. So I'm like, what the heck? And then on the passenger side, I go to the quarter window, and the molding is damn near peeled off. It wasn't like that when I went to go pick it up, but driving, it's like they half-ass put it on, and over time, which wasn't that long, it started to come up. The rear bumper, it was kind of sagging now, so it's like they didn't even put it on correctly all the way. It was just one thing after another. And so I got back to Tennessee, called the insurance company, and I'm like, look, I don't feel comfortable in this car. And I told them exactly what happened, and they were like, okay, where do you want to take it? Now I can take it wherever I want. So there's a local shop here in Tennessee, Cookville, where I live, Jillian's, and I took it to them. They went over it, and the guy there told me that it's like they kind of didn't even do anything underneath, because when they pulled the car apart, there was so much wrong with it. It's like they just didn't do any of the underneath stuff. They pulled the bad stuff off and put the new stuff back on. Well, the aftermarket stuff. And so these guys ordered all OEM stuff, redid the hood, redid the door, the headlights, the trim, the rear bumper, and later on I found out that the only thing they replaced of the coilovers was the one that broke in half. All of the other ones were the same ones. So it's like that. I wish I could remember the name of this place, but it was just terrible. But the second place, they got the car right. They put it on a frame machine, made sure everything was straight. And when I picked up the car from them, everything was perfect. The car was driving fine. But it's just crazy that a Ford dealership would do that. Just completely blew my mind. But I mean, hell, I think the accident happened when I had like maybe 90,000 miles. I'm at 104. Haven't had any issues. Car's been driving fine. Oh, and it was funny when I picked up the car in Vermont. The manager of the body shop was like, "Hey, you might want to think about replacing your rear tires pretty soon. They're a little worn out now." Well, maybe you should have fixed the car like you said you were gonna. Talking about tires. So if I remember the name of the place, I'll put it in the description. And if anybody lives in Vermont, is near Vermont, ever has an accident in Vermont, do not take your vehicle to that place. My insurance company ended up, I don't know if you would call it suing, but they took back the money from them that they gave them, since they didn't really do anything. Obviously the front bumper part, I think the hood was messed up. I think they did have to replace the hood. Obviously that stuff they didn't take back for, but like the quote that they gave for all the stuff that they didn't do anything, yeah, they got all that money back, because it ended up costing more to fix the second time than what they did the first time. Completely blows my mind. And unfortunately, because that second time didn't add on to the first amount, it didn't total the car. Which a part of me was kind of like, I had a really sour taste in my mouth and I didn't want it back. But after I got it back, because I had the GT500 style hood and the GT500 style front bumper from 777, hood from Cervini's, I like the car again. So, and after the second time, all was good, all was great. I would definitely recommend, if you are in Central Tennessee, Jillian's Auto Body in Cookeville, definitely go there. Great people. They were so easy to work with. They actually called and gave me updates. I didn't have to call them. And the owner of the body shop, he actually has a really nice collection of cars. One of them being it was the 07 to 09 GT500 King of the Road. And that was sweet. So maybe if I ever go back there again, I can film it. But yeah, so that was my worst experience after having an accident, because I've actually been in 3 total. One was my fault, only because the guy in front of me, with nobody in front of him, locked his brakes up at a green light, and I didn't have enough time to stop. And I barely did any damage to his car, but I had damage to my car. So because I hit him from behind, it was deemed my fault, which was terrible. And the other one, I hit black ice and hit a guardrail. So I don't have good luck around black ice. I don't think anybody does, but the 2 times that I've hit it, ended up in the guardrail. Pretty significant damage on both cars. But yeah, hopefully I don't have to worry about that ever again. So yeah, that's my story time for today. Let me know how you guys like this angle. I looked at the preview before I started this. I kind of like it a little better. So if you guys like it, I'll keep doing it in this angle. If not, I'm gonna go back to the other angle, or maybe I'll just flip-flop depending on what I'm doing. Almost back home, so you guys know what that means. Windows gotta go down. Because like the man Matt from OG says, always got a courtesy rev. How many of you guys back in everywhere you go? Let's get you guys down a little lower. Always courtesy rev. Bet my neighbors are gonna like that one. Take care, guys.